How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins, Media Corner, back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to the movie review, aka after I saw review video for today. This time for this new episode for the series is going to be my review on the 2023 biographical sports action drama film. And this film is also based off the famous racing simulation video game series of the same name. And as you guys can tell from the title of this video, of course, I'm here to review Gran Turismo. Now, this film was directed by Blomkamp, who you may know him as the director of films such as District 9, Elysium, and Chappie. And so he's now come to make a new film, which in this case, this film is based off the famous racing simulation video game series known as Gran Turismo. And this film is also based on a true story, which this film tells the unbelievable yet inspiring true story where I follow a team of underdogs, which consists of a struggling yet working class gamer named Jan, played by Archie Madekwe, a failed former race car driver named Jack Salter, played by David Harbour, and an idealistic motorsport exec named Danny Moore, played by Orlando Bloom, which they risk it all to the most elite sport in the world. So that's pretty much the story of Gran Turismo. Now, when it comes to the Gran Turismo series, of course, it is a famous video game series for the PlayStation, and it is considered one of the best racing simulation video game series ever, especially for the PlayStation. And I have played a few of the games before, although I've never owned a single copy for myself for my own PlayStation or anything like that. But after I saw a few of the trailers for this film, I was really surprised that there was going to be a movie that was based off that famous video game series for the PlayStation. But after seeing it, I was kind of curious and all that, because I didn't even know how this was going to work out and all that, how that video game series was going to work into a film or anything like that. But I didn't realize that this film was also tackling on a true story that has something to do with that video game series. And I didn't do any research about the whole true story of what this film tackles on or anything like that. So I went to this film knowing nothing about the whole true story or anything like that. But I was really intrigued to see this film because there was a few reasons. One was because you've got a talented filmmaker who's behind the camera for this film, which in this case is Blomkamp, and I think he's a talented filmmaker that's working to this day. Of course, for his 2009 film District 9, it is still my favorite of his films out of his film library, and it is one of my favorite movies of 2009. I think it is a really great sci-fi movie. However, for his other films he's made after he did District 9, those films didn't really meet much acclaim like District 9 or anything like that, like Elysium or Chappie, which both of those films will met with mixed reactions from critics and audiences. But I didn't mind those films, and but I was really intrigued to see what he was going to do for this new video game film here. And I was really surprised with the cast who were in this film, which you've got a talented cast here in this film, which in this case you've got David Harbour from Stranger Things, Orlando Bloom from the Lord of the Rings and the Pirates of the Caribbean series, and Archie Madekwe and all that, as well as Djimon Hounsou from Gladiator and Shazam and many other things. And this film just came out just a few weeks ago in the UK. It came out on the 11th of August, the exact same day as the Haunted Mansion did. And this film just came out just a couple days ago in the US, because this was released two weeks after it was released in the UK. And I saw this just a couple days after it was released. I wanted to see this on my job for free, and I still have my ticket for the film, which I do have right here. And for my screening, there was quite a lot of people on the screen that I was in. And after watching this whole movie here, I can definitely tell you guys that I had a really good time with Gran Turismo. This movie was a really big surprise here. I had a really good time here from beginning to end here. The things that I liked in Gran Turismo was the direction by Blomkamp, which I thought he did a really good job directing this film here through the racing sequences, in which I thought the racing sequences here for this film were really riveting, and yet they are really intense. They do get even more intense later down the line in the film, which those moments they really got me on the edge of my seat as I was watching this film. And this film also uses some visual effects and all that, which I thought the effects for the most part were pretty cool here, and yeah, pretty solid as well. We get to see them through the moments where we see this film showcases a few references to Gran Turismo, which I thought was really cool. We get to see we get to hear the starting line and all that, which that was pretty cool, and we get to see the positions of the races and all that, which that was pretty cool as well. We get to see who was first or last and all that, and we even get to see Jan visualizing the car that he's in, and all that, which that was really cool. And we even get to see the car itself detach itself from each different pieces and all that, which that was pretty cool as well. And when it comes to the performances, David Harbour, who plays Jack Salter, he's this former race car driver and all that, and he later becomes like a trainer for our main character, Jan, in the film. I thought he was terrific in the film and all that. And Orlando Bloom, who he plays Danny Moore, who's this motorsport exec, he was also great in the film as well. And the main actor who plays Jan in the film, which is Archie Madekwe, he was also terrific in the film as well. And we even get to see him interact with David Harbour in the film, which those moments I really, really adored. Like, there is a few heart and soul through those moments in the film, which I really dug with. And yeah, and you also have Djimon Hounsou, whom like I said, he's in this movie, and he plays our main character's father in the film, and I thought he was great in the film as well. And as for everyone else who were in the film, I thought they all gave really good, strong performances here. And as for the pacing for the film, well, in the second act and the third act of the film, I thought it was well paced. It's just in the first act of the film I kind of felt was a bit rough. Like, the first 30 minutes of the film I thought was a bit rough, but it does manage to pick itself up once we get into the main storytelling of the film, which is the whole underdog storytelling here, through when we see our main character training to become a race car driver and all that, since he's been fascinated with racing and all that, as well as for playing so many Gran Turismo games and all that. And while when it comes to the storytelling for this film, it is, like I said, it is an underdog storytelling and all that, which it is kind of, for the way this film plays it all out here, it is one that we've seen before and all that, but it didn't really bother me or anything like that, despite it's a few of its cliches and all that, which there were a few I kind of expected and all that, but some of them I didn't really mind for the most part and all that. And since this film is also a biopic and all that, since this film is basically telling us the whole true story about Jan's journey and all that for becoming a race car driver, there are some inaccuracies and all that, which they didn't really bother me for the most part and all that. And as for the runtime for the film, it is 2 hours and 16 minutes. I kind of wish a couple minutes of the film could have been trimmed down a little bit and all that. Even though I didn't mind it. It's just that there was just a few scenes that do tend to drag on a little bit and all that due to some of its rough pacing issues and all that. But again, I just kind of wish a couple minutes of its runtime could have been trimmed down a little bit and all that. But overall, in the end, guys, Gran Turismo, I had a really good time with this new video game film here. I definitely enjoyed this one on the exact same level like the Super Mario Brothers movie, as well as Detective Pikachu and the two Sonic the Hedgehog movies, and even the 2021 reboot of Mortal Kombat and all of that. And there are a few ways I could recommend this film. If you're a huge fan of Gran Turismo, or you're a fan of the director Neil Blomkamp, or if you're a fan of the cast like David Harbour or Orlando Bloom or anything like that, this is one I would really recommend you check out to see for yourselves. With either your best friends or your family. So that's pretty much all to say about Gran Turismo. I'm going to give Gran Turismo 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, I didn't have too much to say about this film other than I had a really good time with this film, and despite having a few faults with the film, it never managed to harm my experience watching this film from beginning to end here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After I Saw review on Gran Turismo, and let me know what you think of this movie if you have seen this already or if you just recently checked out this film. Did you have a really good time with this, or were you very disappointed with this? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.